Yo. Which one? And oh yeah, I don't want y'all to think this is a scary video. This is a celebration. So which one is better for the world? Religions or Masonry? Now, I know this video is going to make people think different. And I'm here to tell you, if you're not ready to grow up and you don't want to let the spook man go, don't watch this video. So which one has done more for the world and which one has done more damage to the world? Religions or Masonry? First things first. If you are confusing Masonry with Freemasonry, you're already losing. Masonry or Mason means builder. That's what it means. There's operative Masons and then there's speculative Masons. Okay? A speculative Mason is an esoteric Mason because they're using their mind. An operative Mason is what you would call a bricklayer. Someone who's physically making the masonry come to life. They're not just keeping it in their head or just passing information as, you know, esoteric, allegory, analogies, stuff like that. The reason I'm making this video is because in this time that we're in, my people, and it's really to everybody, but my people are going to have to realize why there's so much technology and they're still on the bottom. It's because you haven't chose what side to be on. You haven't grown up yet. You know, as long as you're going to carry out the duties of a child, you're going to get treated just like one. A lot of you don't want to get rid of the religions because of the spook man. But a lot of you need to realize you're not comprehending this information correct. You are a slave. You are the white people's slave on earth. I keep trying to tell people, they don't believe in the story the way that you're saying it. That's why their actions show that they don't believe in this energy the way that you do. And it's because they know how to use it. I tell people a lot, you know, when it comes to this God that you guys are talking about, it tells you in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and it was good. What dog do you know that can read words? What about like a sun or a moon? Or even a child? What newborn child do you know that can read words? None. So clearly, the God that made, or the God that's in this book is coming from a Mason. It doesn't have to be a Freemason. That's the spook God part. That's where y'all are fucking up. Ain't nobody coming to save you. It's never going to happen. How you save yourself is by inquiring information. It's just like looking both ways before crossing the street. Okay, if you didn't inquire that information, you just walked out there and got hit. Mechanics go to school to learn how to fix the engine. They can't just say, oh, I want the engine fixed, and just look at it and not have any word to man their manual, and do it. Okay. So I ask again, what is better for the world? Is religions better for the world or Masonry? Oh, well, this sounds kind of like blasphemy. I don't think I would be involved in no Masonry because, that's not God. Okay. I'm not going to get into something basic like, well, how'd you make your book? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to tell people is this. If somebody walks up to you and slaps you, is this spirit or this God or this spook that you're talking about, is it going to come through like in this book? Is it going to make 1,000 soldiers appear in the desert? Is it going to flood the whole earth? Is it going to do any of this stuff that you read in this book? Or are little girls still getting raped? Grown men are still getting raped in prison, and that's a blasphemy sin. That's an abomination to God. God don't like that either. Never comes through. We just hear the screams and the rape all through the night. Why is that? So I'm going to ask again, what is better for the world? Religions or Masonry? As long as you have religions, you guys will continue to let people break the rules and fuck up. And you'll just be passive about it because you're like, oh, they got to deal with God at the end anyway. No, they don't. If it wasn't for you putting the death penalty on the person, would they have just poofed, turned into a pillar of salt? Or would they have just disappeared? No. You have to do it. So I'm saying that to black people because it's like the whole black fatigue and stuff like that is because you're actually doing what you're doing, guys. It's not that people don't like you because you're black. That's your excuse. Because, newsflash, you guys don't like yourselves more than other groups. Other groups just don't deal with you. They just don't talk to you. They just don't deal with you. Y'all hate yourselves. Why? Because you a slave. You ain't got no masonry. If you had masonry, y'all wouldn't be broke. Y'all wouldn't be disorganized. Y'all would be together and you would be thriving and winning. But it's because you have no masonry. You don't understand esoteric allegory, that you can't get the gist of these stories. And you'll just leave them how they sound, and you won't dwell inside it. And it's so funny because it's like you guys made this hip hop. You guys make all these metaphors. How do you not understand allegory? And how can you say that you're not the original Mason on earth? You guys started all of this. It don't matter what side of the board you want to pick. If you want to talk about ultimate spirit, the ultimate spirit. Every ancient talked about that, but they never said they could comprehend it. They damn sure didn't have its name, and it really doesn't verify, what you guys are trying to get into. It doesn't verify a throne and robes and angel wings, and it doesn't verify any of that. So all of that is allegory. If you want to talk about the ultimate spirit, you're talking about the things that you can't explain. Like, what is wind? You can talk all the science you want about it, but what is it? You know what I'm saying? And why does it keep coming around? And why do you need it to live? What is fire? What is it? Why does your stomach carry acids that can literally burn like a house down if we were to take it out your body? Okay. Why, is water, the whole earth is 70% water. Okay. Your body is 70% water. That's why you need to stay hydrated in your life. Why? Why do you have a neural shock system? Why is your heartbeat going off of this? Like, why can you catch static electricity? And then there's electricity. See, when you're trying to understand that energy, you're never going to get anything because it doesn't talk. That's for the human words to break down. And that's why we made the body of God, all that Kabbalah stuff. That's why they did that. but it's still words of man explaining to man or future being. It has to be comprehended. It's just like the house. If the foundation is not solidified, if it's not flat surface, this thing could fall in a very short amount of time. It might not even last that long because of how you're building it. All right, look at the people of low cognitiveness, whether it's black trash or white trash or Hispanic trash or Asian trash. It doesn't matter. Look at how it carries itself. And then ask yourself a question. Do you think the low cognitive are religious or Masonic? Well, then maybe that's why they're asking for stuff instead of presenting stuff that they can create. So, to me, when you got people, claiming to be people in a book, and it's like they don't even come from there, and then they're bad with money. People keep saying they're good with money, but they keep begging like taxpayer people for money. How are they good with money? They're not good with money. I think the people that are funding these people are just not bright, and they're being played. I don't think these people have ever been good with money. I think they've always been swindlers, and that's why they've been kicked out of so many places. So much so that even in their story, one of their own is telling them that they're wrong, and he even kicks them out of the church, the bank, whatever. Now, how would you be able to comprehend that if you were an esoteric Mason? If you could comprehend allegory, if you could get the point of things. I've been to a few funerals in my life. Never seen nobody float out the casket and fly away, and never seen nobody float in, the church. But I do know this. I know a lot of these vessels of life that I meet are getting cut short very early for having foolish intent based off a religion, opposed to having esoteric knowledge through Masonry and know that what goes around comes around. Every action has a consequence. You know what I'm saying? That's knowledge. That's wisdom. People can get that from this book when you allegorically read it. The preacher is taking the stories, and he'll even say what the story says. But what does he normally do? He normally is breaking it down. Why? Because he's a Mason. It's just some of them are bad Masons or swindlers. They're just robbing the people of their money. But the people should know this, and more of them should inquire this wisdom so that they can help their group. But like I said, all the low cognitive of the earth, they're all slaves to a religion, wasting their time not uniting with each other and doing building, and making things. It's like, how did all this stuff get here? You guys are like corporation babies. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of our grandparents, they were mom and pops. They were truthfully getting it out of the mud because they were building on the mud. They were like literally building towns and cities. We're not doing that. We're renting already made buildings. We're leasing buildings, coming up with LLCs, putting our name on it. Most of us ain't sewing our own clothes. We're not making our own shoes. We're arguing with Trump bringing the warehouses back here when it's like, this is what y'all need. You need Masonry. You need to really put your hands on it. You know what I'm saying? And really get the craftsmanship of it so that you can degree up other people. You can help other people. And then that's how we get training courses and all different types of things that are physically happening. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. And it's like, I think my group, a lot of people aren't, but I think people need to realize that the ancients weren't dumb. You think that they believe the shit that they wrote. They don't believe that. No, that's why the pyramids didn't poof. Nothing poofed. And if these people really believed in all these ghost stories and fairy tales that you guys believe in, how was the white dude able to come through with the gun and knock it all down? What you think? They was calling on gods just sitting there praying? No, they was fighting. They was fighting, bro. Why? Because the stories have never been the way that you guys look at stuff. The ancients didn't look at it like that. And when you guys see these National Geographic and BBC documentaries and they supposedly talking to these tribal people and they have to interpret it, bro, these tribal people aren't saying that shit at all because they know if these gods were real, bro, they wouldn't be broke. The white dude wouldn't have been able to take their shit. So clearly they know that the ancients didn't think like that, and the ancients didn't tell you it that way to think like that. It's allegory. It's esoteric knowledge. Why would I just want everybody to comprehend the wisdom? I wouldn't. So I'm going to have to hide it. And I hide it in these stories. And then people that are laymen are just going to take what's on the front surface. They're not going to get the symbolism. They're not going to get it. Well, I'm telling my folks, it's been too long and y'all not getting it. It's been way too long out here. Y'all have been Masonically naked. And that's why, you know, the pro-blacks and the Pan-Africans and the back to Africans, they could all be Boule agents and you would never realize it. Because you don't understand any allegory, you don't understand any Mason. Plus, you're not following the breadcrumbs. You're not seeing what these people are doing. They're not doing anything. It's like they literally low-graded you. You used to make towns and cities. You used to have elegance and mastery. Now y'all just, delivering water to Flint, Michigan? Yeah. That's so great. Why don't y'all fix the pipes yourself? See what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean, bro. It's like there's no masonry involved. Niggas buying water bottles from the store. There's not even their own water they're getting from a clean river. You're not mastering anything. You're just doing like the small fry stuff, like the turkey stuff on the Nino Brown thing. You're giving people turkeys. You gave him $100 on the side of that. It's like you claim you got all this money. And Nino was wrong for that anyway. He was destroying the neighborhood. You wasn't even putting no money back in it. You was buying him a turkey. You just smoked out all the black teachers, all the future black RNs, and smoked them all out. I'm going to pay my homage to y'all with turkey. Now, see, who got the masonry in that? Or did you get the religion? And that's why people are religiously following Nino Brown with the turkey concept. That's why they're doing it. Instead of realizing you were poisoning your people. Like all them rappers spewing all that poison, but then turn around and eat a turkey. It's a con. Religions are only good when you Masonically understand them. That's the only reason you like the pastor. They're good and bad Masons. Because some of them are good and some of them are bad. Some of them ain't never try to sleep with the congregation. Some of them, really speak that truth and try to get to your mind. Some of them do the dance and the loud voicing and the playing the hooping and hollering. And it's not all black people because all that Protestant stuff, I forgot that dude's name from the 90s. Billy Graham, was it? No, I don't think it was him. But it was one of them. And I'm listening to this and I'm like, man, this is straight African mumbo jumbo. This is not even real stuff. And that's another reason how we know who y'all got this shit from. When you hear them, people called Pentecostals, when you hear them, what do they sound like? Sound like some Africans. And they claim they're close to what to God. Oh, really? With no knowledge gaining, huh? Just dancing around and making a bunch of sound effects. All right. Whatever. You can do whatever you want with religion, but I advise people to start really getting into the masonry of whatever spook man you guys are talking about. Because your spook man is always going to end up being you. Regardless. regardless of how y'all want to play this. Whatever spook man you believe in, you're actually talking about yourself. Because that's the dead person in the casket. That's the one you haven't woke up yet. Hold on. That's the one you ain't pay homage to. Hold on. See the picture on the right. When you get the original joint, there's a casket in front of that altar. Before you can get to all that glory, you got to get out that casket. Now with religions, yeah, you got all of them, but as you notice, it's a big circle. Y'all never rise out of it. Y'all just get stuck in the dogma that they put you in. I want y'all to rise up to something. I didn't say you got to join the Mason or anything like that. That's not my point. My point is, which one is doing more for the world? The people who know how to build, the people who make the books, the scholarship, the knowledge that, passes on, or the people that are spooked out going in circles with some information that they don't even understand why it's cryptic to begin with. It's not for just blatantly reading. You're not supposed to read this like everything is just literal. You're not. You're not even supposed to look at it like that at all, because you're going into times where you're not there. You really can't verify anything. It doesn't matter what, historian or old piece of rock or statue I show you. That doesn't mean anything. You weren't there. And a lot of the things that you guys hold dear to, people don't need to function. People don't need to really know about Jesus, Moses, Buddha, Allah. They don't have to know about any of that. And they're still going to have to brush their teeth, wash their butt, do some type of work to get income. They're still going to have to function. So clearly these books are used for enslavement or enlightenment. It goes both ways. Most people have been using it for enslavement, trying to trick people's soul into following their book, for saying all of their lifetime, and not realizing, well, how did the book get put together? You know what I'm saying? But when a person is telling you about God and they so in conviction and all that, but they cannot put a book together. It's like, well, you put all these chapters together. Like, show me a book that you made. It's never going to be that. It's always going to be them leeching off something that somebody's providing to them. You didn't make that book. I didn't say you can't make a book. I'm saying you make that book. So clearly that information is not, it's not yours to say how it's supposed to be read. And when you're talking about spook man and ghosts and demons, and you're not using it in the esoteric science, you're not using it in the metaphor, you're meaning literal. That's where you're going to mess up, because there's no people with wings jumping out and all your shapeshifters and things like that. It's like you never get it firsthand. Anytime somebody's trying to talk about shapeshifters, they always have to pause and rewind some tape that's new. That's some new stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't around 100 years ago. So it's like, if I show you a picture or something like that, it's like, this is something I'm manipulating, or I'm able to manipulate. If there was real, winged demons and angels, they would have been seen. It wouldn't be a goofy picture where the light shimmering on it, a little extra. Like, look, you can see it. It looks like an angel. It has to make sense, because you guys don't want the cup bottom to fall and spill on you. You don't want the table legs to not work. You don't want the car to not start. It's like you want masonry. That's what y'all want. Y'all want, when y'all go to work, at the end of the week, y'all get a check. It's the actual work that comes with the enlightenment. But it has to be done outside the book. That's what I'm saying. Somebody shouldn't be getting you grown adult on your knees, all in your feelings about something that you're not even taking action with. They got you waiting on death to see something when it's like, no, that's not even how your book even works. The book already tells you this thing came back because you're reading it. It's nobody's fault that you don't want to finish the book. Because when you finish the book, now you have to do, knowledge breakdowns. You have to understand what you're talking about. You can't just sit on it. And then it's all on you to take what you want to take from the book. If you're not getting the knowledge from the metaphors, then why are you just taking that? Why don't you take, great building ideas and calculations and all that different stuff, and then compare it to comparative study? You know what I'm saying? See if this is even a logical boat that can be made or anything like that. It's like your brain has to start to work. It has to start to move. I feel people are too stuck on religions to not comprehend them. I don't think you should be what they call an atheist, because an atheist is disawaying with the great energy. I didn't say I don't believe in the great energy. I said I don't believe in a man sitting on a cloud throne and watching you when you piss and shit and fart. And I don't believe that. That's stupid, because we're humans, not the energy we're talking about. It doesn't talk to you like that. It doesn't, like, the whole Moses thing is not real. It's like it doesn't talk to you in that way. Ultimate spirit is never going to talk to you in the sense of a conversation. It doesn't work like that. It works through colors. It works through, the animal life. It works through different forms of, the things that this ultimate energy we're saying created. That's how it works. It works through itself. It doesn't really work with the way that you work, because you could be talking French, German. It's like, it doesn't work like that. It has to be something that all entities, all humans can comprehend without speaking. That's the type of energy that's real. Spook man is not real. You know what I'm saying? And that's why most of these religions end up having you worship a man or a woman in the end anyway. They first pick God out there, then they throw Moses out there, then they throw Elijah out there, then they throw Christ out there. But it's like Buddha is supposed to be a person. Allah, yeah, but they give you the Prophet Muhammad, okay, which was supposedly a person. You know what I'm saying? Even the Jews, they try to claim that they don't follow no man, but they follow that Ben, whatever the dude's name is, to a T. Like, they follow the man. So you got to have a good guide. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that a man can't lead you there. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying you got to have a good guide, but I want people to take the time and they want life to realize something. Religion is only cool if you allegorically understand it. If you don't, then you're a slave. I feel Masonry is better because at least it comes with allegorical understanding in actual physical builds. It comes with operative Masonry, where you can make a house, you can make a car, you can make an expressway, you can make an airplane. You can make, it's like the God work. You know what I'm saying? It's like they trying to separate the God work from the God word. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense, because you're reading. So you should be inquiring something of craftsmanship to make builds, to create, to give off this praise and respect to this ultimate energy that you're wording, you're talking. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you can only talk for so long, right? You got to put in work. You know what I'm saying? At least as a man, I would think people will understand this video. If you're a man, you're gonna get what I'm trying to say is like, yo, that is true. It's like they one-sided the information. They just gave you the spiritual tip. They didn't give you the physical build. You know what I'm saying? So you can make moves. And it's like, that's why all the Masonry shit is represented behind tools. The pick, the hammer, the sickle, all this different stuff. Is like, a lot of OGs will tell you, they're like, yo, I'm not a Freemason, I'm a stonemason. A person will take you back to the beginning of this, because they're like, yo, I cut, you know what I'm saying, real pieces of brick. Like, I lay brick, I make brick. You know what I'm saying? They want the actual point of God's work, because nobody is, the convenience store is just not gonna pop up on its own. Like, that's what I'm saying. I feel my people they've gotten too spiritual and not enough physical. They forgot the real way of this shit. And it's because it's been hidden between Freemasons and Boule and then all this goofy shit that they doing with this entertainment industry, which is tricks and pranks and actors. And it's like they got lazy. They not building shit no more. Now they trying to bring in immigrants and shit. But I know the true OG Masons of this country know what I'm saying. I know they out there like, nah, you right. You right. We've been slipping. We've been trying to make too many foreigners, the bricklayers of our society. That doesn't make any sense. It's like it should be yours. So what? You got computers. That doesn't mean you shouldn't know how to build your own house. So what? We got video games and stuff. That doesn't mean you should know how to make your own video games. That's all I'm saying. It's like, which one do you think is grander in your one life? It's okay if you say one or the other. It's okay if you say both. But I'm going with Masonry, because I know with Masonry comes the book. You know what I'm saying? The book has to be put together. The book doesn't create itself. That whole lightning shock thing, that couldn't happen. That didn't even make any sense. It's like, it doesn't. That doesn't make any sense. The book has to be put together. A mind has to make a comprehensible book. It can't just be It has to mean something. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I would rather get the mastery on earth so I could do all the great things that I'm here to do. Y'all have just took our religion because you're in a corporation now. Now they got everything already made for you. So now you're just a consumer. You're not creating on your own. I'm talking to a specific group. I'm like, no, y'all need to get back into your masonry. You need to get back into your physical builds. That's what it is. And it's like, the only way you're going to get that is by, kind of going home. You got to put it both together. You can't just be sitting there arguing about these spiritual systems all day. You're going to have to actually move. So I'm saying, it starts by comprehending the allegory. You know what I'm saying? The he is without sin and all that. And, a day to man is 1,000 to God. It's like, why would that even be said? What does that mean? Does that mean, God's brain is constantly moving? You know what I'm saying? And man is very, primitive to this type of advanced thinking? Could be. But why? Because they separated you from the masonry. If you had the masonry, you would understand who's the God in the book. That's your higher self. That's your higher self. That's when you're qualified. So when you're just a regular man who don't know anything, yes, you're right. A day to you is 1,000 days to God. Like, nigga, what? He's got so much mind stays so fast. It's like, this is what we're talking about. So stop floating in the air with it and put it where it's supposed to be, with the person who's supposed to be with the tools, the ones who's making the moves. That's what I'm saying. If you just lost in religion, you're going to be a slave. You're not getting anything. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be trying to tell people about a spook man and going to hell and all types of corny shit when it's like, no, these are states of mind and states of living. Trust me, the more knowledge you grasp, the better it gets. Real talk. That's all I'm saying. So, do what you want to do. Clutch on to what you want to clutch on. Keep what you want to keep. But just know at the end of the day, if you don't acquire information and education to comprehend the wisdom that you're gaining, which is allegorical and esoteric, is going to mean other things. You might as well get back in your masonry bag so you can comprehend things and actually build on them and make physical builds on them and, make life better for you and the whole world. goes.